calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all the sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
So if you have a real penchant for the dark side, this may be the episode for you. If not, you may want to run. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe. Of course, with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How you doing?
Well, I've been better.
Yeah?
Yeah. If there's ever been a week where I'm like scared for Star Wars, this is one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand.
Like, really? Like, it's just, and it's literally one story that came out that really got me going, what are we doing here?
Right.
Like, I just have a feeling that when it comes to Star Wars and film, it's just not their focus. They don't care.
Yeah.
It's a dark week for us.
It is. It is. Yes.
I've been defending them for a long time. Oh man.
Yep.
This one just really got me.
Okay. Get into it, Joe.
Do we want to start right there?
We might as well. I think got to get it out.
Gotta apologize now for everything I might say.
Apology accepted in advance. There.
Okay. I mean, I say I gotta apologize. I don't really mean it, but like.
Right. Yeah. You have nothing to apologize for.
No, I don't mean it. It's not that I don't have anything to apologize. I probably should, but I don't mean it.
Right.
So, all right. Kathleen Kennedy got talking about all the projects that were promised before, right?
Yeah.
Rogue Squadron, Taika Waititi's unnamed film,
Right.
the Lando series. Left out a bunch of other stuff. Like, let's just forget about all that. Like, we're gonna focus on these because why not?
Right.
Oh, Ryan Johnson's trilogy, right? Like, gotta talk about that.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where I'm really gonna get fired up.
The one that, they announced 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, she had no problem debunking that Kevin Feige was ever gonna do anything.
Right. Yeah, that was never
whatever.
official.
Whatever.
Yeah.
What a bunch of bullshit that was. Yeah, they never made an official announcement. Sure. You made a bunch of other ones.
Yeah,
Not official,
exactly.
but a bunch of hinting shit.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and start with Taika Waititi, right?
Yeah.
So, Kennedy says, Taika is working away. He's just, and he won't get mad at me for saying this, slow.
Uh-huh.
Well, he's made 2 Thor movies since that.
I was going to say, yeah.
Okay, sure. She says, we've got a couple acts, just need a third.
Yeah.
So you don't know how he's going to end it?
I guess.
Okay. That's fair, I guess.
I guess, right?
But he's also developing movies in his ever-growing list of projects he's involved with, so we likely won't see significant momentum on this project anytime soon. That's coming from Jedi News. That's an expansion on everything she said.
Right.
This is the first time I'm going to say this. You're working on Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay. Star Wars.
Uh-huh.
Has Thor pulled Star Wars numbers?
I don't
Just
think
saying.
so. I don't think so, man. That Thor's cool and all, but
Right.
he's not Star Wars cool.
So, okay, we've made it clear Star Wars is not Taika's focus.
Right.
Okay, fair, I guess. So-
As we go here, I've got one of those, like, investigative crime scene cork boards that people put up, linking all the red string to one point. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think we all know what I'm talking about.
All right, let's talk Ryan Johnson.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So, she says, Ryan and I talk all the time. He just keeps getting more and more successful, and it keeps moving things back further and further. One day we'll figure this out.
Yeah, he keeps getting more and more successful. Not with Star Wars.
Right. So, Knives Out.
Right.
Knives Out. This is what this comes down to, is Knives Out, because it's the only shit he's done
Yeah.
since Star Wars. Okay, let's make this clear. It's Knives Out
Yeah.
versus fucking Star Wars.
Exactly.
Now, I'd like to point out Ryan Johnson, the guy who claimed he was this big Star Wars fan.
Right.
All he ever wanted to do was Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because it's Star Wars. I think his exact words is, it's fucking Star Wars. Okay?
Yep.
Just want to point this out. But, hey, he keeps getting more and more successful, so what am I going to do? It's just fucking Star Wars.
Ryan and I talk all the time.
I just
About
had to
what?
change the inflection on that, right?
Yeah.
Because, he said, it's fucking Star Wars. No, his inflection was actually, it's just fucking Star Wars.
Right.
So, once again, sorry everybody, but there is no other words that convey this.
I get it. I totally get it. I feel the same way.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, these excuses are weak.
Yeah.
Okay? You are treating this like a project that you did not spend $4 billion on.
Exactly.
You could take a step back from all this crap you're spewing. Like, let's just throw this other stuff in there. Lando, Rogue
Right.
Squadron,
Yes.
still on the books,
Right.
right? Both of them, still on the books. We just want them to be great.
Really?
That's what they say.
Yeah, you should probably start working on them then. I mean,
Right. Well, that's okay. Everything they said about the other two projects, right? The other two guys are just busy.
yeah, they're busy. So successful and busy. Yeah.
Right. The Lando show and Rogue Squadron, we just want them to be great. So are you saying, like, these two have put together stuff you don't like,
Right.
and these two haven't put together anything, so, we're working with them. They're successful, you gotta
Yeah.
give them time.
Yeah, exactly.
No, just take a step back, right? Breathe, all right? George Lucas took a lot of time between Star Wars, right?
Sure.
A lot of time. Maybe you can just take a step back and say, look, Star Wars takes time.
Yeah,
It just takes time.
sure.
But no. You got to wait until you announce a bunch of other stuff before you deliver on the stuff you announced before. And then when people question you about the stuff you announced before, you're like, oh, no, it's still happening. But, these guys are successful.
Right.
It's fucking Star Wars.
Right. Yeah. You're either going to work on it or you're not.
Right.
This,
like,
you're half in, that doesn't work for Star Wars because that means you're not putting your full effort into it.
Let me put it this way. There are some people out there that are creative as crazy. Like they're amazingly creative.
Right.
Would love to dedicate everything they got to Star Wars.
Exactly.
But no, you got to go get your names. And let them say they're too busy for Star Wars?
Yeah.
To do what? Knives Out?
Right. Thor.
Okay. Contact me in another 30 years, 40 years. And let's see if we're still talking about Knives Out.
Exactly.
Hey, it's 40 years. We're still talking about Star Wars.
Yep.
Okay? Someone needs to get their priorities straight.
I've seen these Knives Out movies. They're okay.
Yeah.
Worth a watch. They're no Star Wars.
No.
They're not even a Last Jedi. Okay? To be perfectly fair and honest about it. But
I want to throw it even further. They're not even Star Trek, bro.
yeah, exactly.
They're not James Bond. Even though they cast James Bond.
Right.
They're good. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
They're good. And I understand his pride. They're his.
Sure.
But you signed up for Star Wars, bro.
I don't know, if that's where his true passion is, we're talking Johnson, if that's where his true passion is to make those types of movies.
Well, they should be. They're better than his Star Wars.
That is true. That is true. I don't know.
I hate to be that way, but
I will say I would rather watch The Last Jedi than I would those movies over and over. But
agreed. But still, his consistency of story, he seemed to think consistency was a good idea there. Didn't think so when he did Star Wars.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Yeah.
He thought continuity was important in his films.
Yeah.
Not in the other stuff.
Yeah, the main guy there. Yeah. Your James Bond guy. Yeah. It's like, huh. His arc carried over.
Weird.
It's wow, how strange. Oh. Yeah.
But this whole statement just irritated me.
Oh yeah.
Because instead of giving updates at Star Wars Celebration about all these projects that you announced before, you announced 3 more. Do you not realize when you make this announcement how bad this looks?
Right. It looks horrible. Yes.
And it makes those 3 projects looks like they won't happen.
Right. Immediately everyone questions it, right? And
everybody did. And that's why this happened.
And
that's why this statement happened.
Yes.
Because we don't believe you.
Exactly. And you just said it. Don't believe you. When I'm looking at my investigative corkboard with all the red yarn going to one point, that point is Kathleen Kennedy in Lucasfilm. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. You should have led at Celebration about look, we announced all this other stuff. These things take time. It's Star Wars. We can't rush these things.
Right.
And Star Wars fans would have been like, yeah, that's true. We got, almost a 20-year gap between. So, yeah, these things take time.
Right. Yeah.
Could have even said, hey, we were a little overzealous and went a little hard in the beginning, and we realized the error of our ways. We need to take time to make this as great as it should be. But they didn't want to say that because they don't want to admit that they screwed up at all.
That's the problem. That is the problem right there. As soon as you start talking that way, then I'm sure they feel like they're opening themselves up to what they would consider ridicule for, making mistakes.
But
in
they
the
don't even
sequels.
have to go like all the way and say like, hey, we screwed up with this. They can say, hey, look, we realized we had success with The Force Awakens and Rogue One.
Yeah.
We did well here.
Right.
We got a little carried away, rushed everything, and just kind of got a little discombobulated.
Yeah.
And that's what it came down to. Like The Last Jedi, all in all, not terrible, right? Like, it's not the worst film you've ever seen.
Right.
So like everybody's like, oh, it's the worst film. No, stop.
Right.
It's not.
It's not.
It has its merits. But you rushed it. This guy got to write his story, have everything done
Yeah.
before The Force Awakens hits theaters.
Right. Yeah. And without talking a whole lot to his predecessor, that's the thing. It's like,
And without a plan for how that moves forward.
exactly. Yeah. Everything's all wrapped up after that movie. It's like, wait a minute. So we got to like kind of start the whole thing over here. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, and when the guy who started it off says, well, the middle part, that wasn't my plan.
Exactly.
I need to fit my plan into what he did. And you just get this discombobulated, like,
Yes.
light speed jumping mess.
Yes.
So take a step back. Just say, hey, we bit off more than we can chew. These things take time. And that's that.
Right.
But no, we got to announce more. There's more stuff coming. Please believe us this time.
Yeah. There's more coming. Hey, haven't seen the original stuff yet. Thanks.
Yeah. And then to have the audacity to say that, hey, they're successful. They're working on other stuff.
Yeah, Taika, he's just slow. Oh,
Sorry, gonna say it one more time. This is fucking Star Wars.
exactly.
Come on.
I'm with you.
So, yeah. Sorry, everybody. This is getting an explicit tag from hell.
Right.
But this one really, really ground my gears.
Oh, I can tell, and I'm right there with you. It's I don't know who they think they're fooling with all this anymore. It's the way I feel about it. That's just the feeling I have when they come out and just talk. It's like, okay, whatever. Heard it all before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, come on. They're just really successful. Stop. And you had the, I guess I can't stop. You have the balls to say that Rian Johnson's getting more and more successful. Like, dude, he did Star Wars.
Right. That should be the most successful thing he's ever done.
I mean,
Yes.
it should be. It should be. You paid $4 billion for it.
Exactly.
It's just,
Well, I mean, think about it. I don't think either Knives Out movie has grossed $1 billion, right?
no,
Last Jedi did. So,
weird.
where'd that success come from?
Everybody went back to say, what the hell just happened?
Right. Yes, that was me.
I saw it 3 times in theaters.
Uh-huh.
I guess I'm to blame for this.
Yeah. The success of The Last Jedi is your fault, Joe.
Not just me, but I mean, like, I'm part of the blame.
Yes, I understand.
It's people like me who wondered, like just really wanted to love it.
Yes. That's how I was. Like, I want to like this movie so bad, but man, there's something off here. Yeah.
Thanks, Kathy.
Yep. Thanks.
I guess we'll see a movie in about 5 years.
Right.
You know, I only really believe him on one.
Yeah.
There's one movie that I believe will probably make its target date.
Which one's that?
Dave Filoni's.
Right.
And there's only one reason for that. It's not because it's Dave Filoni. Don't think I'm that Lucas era fanboy that's saying, oh, Dave Filoni's going to get it right. No, I think that one's just got a shelf life on it that won't be able to be ignored because it's going to be the culmination of
the
Mandoverse.
Right.
So that one is not going to be able to be delayed.
Well, that's
if it
the
is,
one.
If it is, they've wasted their $4 billion investment.
Agreed. But that's the one that there's a direction for, right? I mean, we have all of this build-up material. Okay, we've got a landing zone for this movie, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna happen. But yeah.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I think that one happens before anything else.
Right.
That's the first film. Hell, it may be the only film that we see out of this list.
Yeah, really. All right. So, okay. Since we're talking about it, I got to throw it out there. Okay. I'm going to go the long way around here.
Oh boy.
No, just okay. So, it's funny cuz there's a headline here. It says Dave Filoni confirms Thrawn is the biggest threat in the New Republic era, right? It's like,
oh,
okay.
where'd that come?
Huh?
Where'd that come from? What?
Empire magazine. So,
I don't think he said that.
well, right. I mean,
He probably said he's the biggest threat of
let's see.
this time.
So speaking to Thrawn being confirmed as the big villain of this area, Filoni detailed, definitely in my eyes. When Timothy Zahn wrote Heir to the Empire, Thrawn became his very iconic villain because he was different than anything we'd seen before. He wasn't another helmet-wearing, lightsaber-wielding bad guy, There's a lot of pull to make characters that are like Vader because it is so iconic. But the boldness that Tim had was to make somebody that wasn't like that didn't have those abilities, that could fight in a different way. The words Star Wars, the war part of it, him being the Grand Admiral, a leader, a military strategist, a Moriarty archetype, someone that will outthink you, outstrategize you, that really resonated. He's a critical player in this time period. We're fortunate to have that character and fortunate to have Lars Mikkelsen playing him.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like
The New Republic era.
right. I mean, it's
that was a stretch.
Exactly.
For that headline.
Exactly.
He's talking about this Mandoverse era.
Right.
This time frame.
The time frame that's going to
say he's the biggest bad in the New Republic era. Pretty sure that's still Palpatine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, just throwing that out there.
Exactly. See Rise of Skywalker.
You have Ryan and JJ for that.
Yep.
Like Palpatine ends up the First Order ends up being a Palpatine thing.
Yeah.
How can you say they're leading towards the First Order in this last season of The Mandalorian that we just saw?
Right.
Yeah, the Praetorian Guards, for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
I'm just rolling with it.
That's fine.
If I'm already putting a tag on it, I'm going.
That's fine. No, I get it. I feel your frustration, and I feel it as well. It's, yes.
And to say that Thrawn is the biggest threat of the era, like the New Republic era, that's just, I'm sorry, it's asinine at this point.
Yeah.
And you're kind of diminishing what Thrawn's going to be when they bring him in.
Exactly.
Because you're trying to apply him to this whole era.
And that's
When you got Palpatine.
what Filoni's saying here. He's different.
Right.
You know? He's,
But you're trying to say he's the biggest of the era.
right.
The New Republic era.
Yeah.
Like, that's all of it.
That's all of it. Right.
You're reaching too wide.
Yes.
He's going to be the big bad for this moment.
I mean,
This Mandoverse moment.
yes.
And let us have it, because Thrawn is a badass.
Right. That's the thing. He is a badass. It is a moment in time encompassed by this whole New Republic era that, like you said, yeah, man, you said it perfectly. Let us have it, because it's like, this is
Well, here's the
just
other.
a piece.
You want to know why Thrawn and the way Timothy Zahn wrote this character was so iconic?
I'd love to know.
Because this is the first time that you were reading and I gotta say reading, because you're reading a Star Wars story.
Yep.
And you find yourself rooting for the villain.
Oh, sure.
It had never happened before.
Right.
You were always like, oh, wow. Like, you never rooted for Vader. Okay? I'm sorry. You can say it in hindsight that you did. Bullshit.
No.
You did not.
No.
You were always rooting for Luke.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Thrawn is the first time in Star Wars where you got mixed up on who you were rooting for.
Now, I will say, I don't know if I was necessarily rooting for Thrawn, but I was also thinking, oh my God, this is something different. How is, back then our core heroes, right? Han, Luke,
Right.
Leia, how are they going to deal with this guy?
But no,
This was something.
but Zahn did such a good job at not making it directed at your core group all the time
Right.
that you actually ended up like rooting for this. It was weird. He's dealing with this other stuff that he's trying to put into play that has nothing to do with the main goal. And all that stuff, you're like rooting for him to succeed. It's weird.
It
Like,
is weird.
okay, yeah, when he's head to head with your main group and stuff like that, you're like, oh, wow, they got to get Thrawn. This guy's a threat.
Yep. Exactly.
But when he's away from that, which there was a ton of, you're rooting for him to succeed.
Right.
It was a weird dynamic.
Yes.
It was something that had never happened. You felt sympathetic towards your villain.
Sympathetic or like, wow, that was a good move. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Like one of the things you and I have talked about, brilliant move by Thrawn in those books.
Right. At
The-
least,
The asteroids around Coruscant and stuff.
right.
That kind of stuff. You're like, wow, that was ingenious. It's
Yeah, cloaked asteroids.
exactly.
Whew.
So it's like, I see where you're coming from, but I'd be hard pressed to say I rooted for him, but I appreciated what he was as far as the villain, Yeah.
There are times where he's away from your core group and he's away from like direct conflict with the New Republic.
Right.
He's dealing with other stuff and you're like rooting for him to succeed. Like, you can say you didn't, but you really did. Like,
well, I mean, that's the path that, you know, Timothy Zahn took us on with those books. It was
right. And
Yeah.
then he got a second chance, right? He got to come into the new generation of Star Wars, the new canon.
right.
And he went even further with that, making a character that you root for by having him work outside of the story you know.
Right.
So everything was dealing with the Chiss and their struggles and things like that. You totally rooted for Thrawn.
That, for sure. There. Yes.
So he ramped it up. Now you're going to, that's all canon. You're rooting for him in the current canon.
Yep.
Like, he's a guy that you were on his side when he's dealing over there. But when it comes here and he's against Luke, he's against, you know, the Mandalorian, Ahsoka, you know, now you got to flip sides.
Yeah.
Or do you?
I know. That,
You are being faced with a conflict now because of what Timothy Zahn and Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have put together.
right.
And that is exciting.
It is exciting. It's
Which is why I think this is the only movie that's going to happen. But
Yeah. Oh, I got one for you, Joe. You've heard what the rumored title of this movie is going to be, haven't you?
don't do it.
Yeah. The rumor is it's going to be called Heir to
Don't
the
do
Empire.
it. Don't even say it. You're going to hurt me.
Heir to the Empire.
Oh,
Yes.
fuck off.
Yes. I know. I thought the
Yeah.
same thing when I heard that. That
I'm going to tell you this. No way. No way they call it that.
I
If they do, this is the reason why Jon Favreau's threatening to quit.
right. Yes. Yeah, if this is the true title that's going to be for this movie, I mean, come on. You know, you have way more imagination than that. If this is your equivalent to Blue Harvest, you know, your working title,
Oh, fantastic.
okay, I get it.
You acknowledge the fact
Yes.
that you are dealing with a character who was beloved before you got your hands on it.
Exactly.
That is a nice tip of the cap.
Yep.
Which, I'm sorry, Dave Filoni is not going to say, oh, I'm going to take this venture into live action directing. And you know what? I'm just going to take Heir to the Empire. That sounds good.
You know, there's so with everything that we talked about previously tonight, there's only one way that this horrible rumor would be true, and that's if Kathleen decided or insisted that's what the title had to be. And if I were Dave, I'd have to push back, man. I'd have to push back real hard because, you know.
I mean, him and John have the clout to do it.
Exactly. That's where Dave could just be like, all right, Kathy, you make this movie without me. Problem is she'd probably try.
Yeah. Except the other guys are too successful to do it.
Exactly. Too busy.
No, too successful. That was the words.
Oh, that's yeah.
So, ugh.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you what. You could present me with the opportunity to direct Heir to the Empire in this era of Star Wars, like call it that.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to tell you what, I'm too successful to do that.
Right.
Because, like, yeah, I'm not ruining my name over that.
Joe, the
Like,
man
I
who
got, like,
ruined
6
Star
people
Wars.
Who like me, I'm not hurting that. I'm not hurting that, all right?
Hey, Joe, here's the last nail we can pound into the coffin and a hammer. Here you go.
Yeah. Like, I got 6 people who solid like me, and no, I'm not hurting that.
Right.
I'm not going down to 2
Oh,
to make an heir to the empire in this thing you call the new Star Wars canon. Like,
Right.
I'm sorry.
that is amazing.
I'd be like, all right, I got one stipulation. There's this character, Mara Jade.
Right.
All right. You know, she marries Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're going to tell me to get out.
Yep.
And that's cool. I'm happy with that.
Exactly. That is funny.
I'm going to hold on to the 6 people that like me.
Oh, God.
Yeah, just no way. No way they call heir to the empire. Not
Right.
a chance.
Yeah.
If they do, yeah,
If they do, they deserve everything they get. That's for sure.
yeah. Yeah, that would not be good.
No.
That would not be good. It just, you gotta, if you're gonna disband the EU, you're gonna have all these, this is where we start to make things right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let the past die.
Yeah.
Kill it if you have to.
Right.
You're gonna do all this shit. And then go back and say, oh no, we gotta go with the past. Heir to the empire. Yay, everybody's gonna love us again. No, we won't.
No, because that is what it is. You know, you leave that what it is. You can't take it and say, and clearly you're not going to quote unquote remake it into a film. If you're going to try and do that, you're twisting things around and using different characters and you know, it's not going to be.
You can't have the Rise of Skywalker where you bastardize Dark Empire.
Right.
You know, like, no. Just no.
Exactly.
Like, if you were going to go down, like, and, you know, I talk about Dark Empire and Heir to, like, they are definitely hinting towards the whole cloning program at this point.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know, and it wasn't until the Rise of Skywalker and the Emperor that you started to go down that road.
Right.
Like, look, you can't wait 3 movies. This is the end of the Skywalker saga, right? You can't wait 3 movies to get there after you already killed Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, like,
Right.
and say, oh yeah, we're going to do this whole cloning thing, like this whole Dark Empire and Heir to the Empire, and like, no. That's not how this works. This has to be a plot point all along.
Yes.
This has to be what they're fighting against.
Yes.
Okay? You can't just throw it in at the end and say, oh, look, see, we did good. No.
But you're wrong, Joe, because that's what they did.
That's what they did. They tried to salvage it.
Yes.
Just, ugh.
Yeah.
Hey man, if there's the ball, I'm out. What was that was his name, right? Stabalth or Sebalth?
Yeah, I've heard that pronounced so many different ways.
Yeah, the clone Jedi.
The clone Jedi. Right.
They do that? Come on.
Yeah.
It's Sebaoth, right? The
Yeah,
up on flight Jedi that
Yeah.
yeah. Which that was reverse engineered.
Right.
So,
Is-
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Even though this is the one that's most likely to be made and probably the first one we'll see moving forward. Yeah, I think they need to do it right. I think Filoni knows that. And I think it's more likely that this is a working title than a true title of the film. I mean, I think Dave's smarter than that.
It's got to be a working title. Gotta be.
Yep.
Like, I guess I'll go this route. If you call it Heir to the Empire, and Jaina and Jason are not going to be a thing,
Right?
so you're gonna call it Heir to the Empire, and you're gonna eliminate Mara Jade, Jason, Jaina, and Ben.
Yeah. Well, without Mara Jade, there's no Ben. Yeah.
So like you're eliminating all those.
Right.
You're hurting.
Yeah, because where's the story then? There's, and somehow,
I guess Ben could go away. Like that didn't happen in that series, right?
well, you gotta, yeah, I don't know.
But Jason and Jaina definitely happened in that series.
Yes, for sure. And the thing is, you've got to also somehow fit Ahsoka into this story.
Right.
And you're going to fit the,
And if you're not going to call part 2 Solo Consort to the Lady Vader, like,
yeah. That's funny. Yeah. I don't know.
What a rabbit hole.
It was definitely a rabbit hole. I just, I don't know. I feel the same way a lot of people do. I've been hearing a lot of pushback to that quote unquote title leak, and it's got to be something like a working title or something like that because
Well, good for it. Like, normally when there's pushback and all this, like, rage about, like, normally I'm like, no, don't do that. No, this one, you're justified.
right,
Roll with it.
exactly.
And it's because of everything that's happened. It's this cascade of events, right?
Yes.
All these announcements that you're trying to explain away where, like, hey, people are too successful for Star Wars. Like,
Yeah.
look, you obviously don't get it.
Right.
Like, go watch Light and Magic and tell me someone can be too successful for Star Wars.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, these Star Wars movies didn't become what they are on accident. I mean, it's a miracle it happened, but my God, a lot of people put a lot of hard work into it.
A lot of hard work. It was
Creativity.
Look, and you're advancing the entire industry.
Yes.
Like, even in 99,
Yep.
they're advancing the industry.
Absolutely.
2002, still doing it,
Yep.
still advancing the industry. Like, look, is Star Wars. It is the pinnacle of cinema.
I gotta say, you're bringing up a good point here because advancing the industry, also something Favreau was behind big time, right? We talked a lot about in the past the volume and how that worked to make these television shows more cinematic. Okay, also advancing the industry. It's not.
But you know why?
But hold on, I gotta make this point because
Okay.
reciprocal to that, what we had with the sequels was a lot of talk about we're going back to practical effects. and that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, but that's not what Star Wars is known for, is it? So,
No, it's known for advancing the industry.
exactly.
Like this idea that we had to like go back in time to make everybody feel good. No, it's bullshit.
Exactly.
Like, okay, yeah, there's nostalgia. Utilize what you can,
right.
but advance where you can.
For sure.
Okay? It's like, and you're right. I think that's where The Mandalorian became so successful.
Yep.
Because the use of practical effects plus advancing technology, like, it just, like, it did what The Rise of Skywalker didn't.
Right.
It made it different. There was something new there
Yes.
where there wasn't with The Rise of Skywalker, where there wasn't with The Force Awakens, where there wasn't with The Last Jedi. There was something new with The Mandalorian, and you couldn't put your finger on it.
Right.
But it's because they advanced
Yes.
in technology.
Exactly.
And you know what? If they didn't do that, George Lucas's statement would have still held true. You cannot make Star Wars in a TV setting because it's too expensive.
Exactly. Yeah.
But they made the volume. They moved things forward.
If Lucas would have had the volume when he wanted to make Star Wars Underworld,
He said that.
he would have done it. Exactly.
There's a behind the scenes video where he says that.
Yep.
Like, oh, if I'd have had this would have happened and this would have happened.
Yep.
Like, they did what ILM does,
Yes. Exactly.
which is it's move film into the future.
Totally.
But other directors and writers are too busy for that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to be a part of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would I wanna?
Oh God.
Why would I want to do that when I could make Glass Onion
Right.
or Love and Thunder?
Uh-huh.
Oh wait, let's take a step back. Love and Thunder and Thor and all that. That's all possible because of ILM and Lucasfilm.
Go figure. Huh.
Like, I like what Taika Waititi did while he was with Star Wars.
Yeah, me too.
But his involvement has dwindled to voicing yes, no, yes, yes. Like, seriously?
Oh, yes. Seriously, that's
Yeah, he did that in a Thor movie no one saw.
right.
So, like,
Good job.
good job. Good job. Keep being more successful than Star Wars. I'm going to be bitter. Like,
That's fine. I get it.
I can't do it. Like, it just it doesn't compute.
No. None of it makes sense. I don't know. It's I guess we're on the wrong side of the screen on this one. You know what I'm saying? Because behind the scenes, things must be looked at differently. I don't know.
Either that or these guys need to come out and say, look, we realize they're going to make this shit. So we bailed.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's their saving grace right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like Ryan Johnson needs to come out like, hey, look, I realize they're more indecisive than they were with the sequel trilogy. I had to get out.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
had to make Glass Onion. So, yeah. Do we have any good news?
I only have one thing you might consider good news, but it's not really much to it.
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah. Disney Gallery, The Making of The Mandalorian Season 3 will be on Disney Plus June 28th.
Oh, that's pretty good because it happened.
That's true. Yes, that was in the books.
Good news. Good news.
It's in the books. We can rest easy.
Oh, I have one.
Oh, okay.
Probably not Star Wars related.
Oh, okay.
But the Indiana Jones collection is coming to Disney Plus on May 31st.
Oh, nice.
So you got the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and the Adventures of Young Indiana Jones coming to Disney Plus.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's good.
It'll help you get through the writer's strike.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. The writer's strike, which, I'm hearing might delay the next season of Mando, but,
I gotta say, what, it's going to delay it a year and a half?
Right.
Like the last one?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, seriously, come on. Like,
right. No, the beauty part is where it says right here, series creator Jon Favreau confirmed earlier this year that the scripts for the new installment had all been completed.
Oh.
So
why are they delayed by the writer's strike?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure how Hollywood works in that regard. So,
well, I don't think Hollywood's sure how Hollywood works. So
that's true. Yeah.
Like if the writing's done, I don't know how a strike would affect it. I gotta say, I've seen these strikes in my lifetime. Writer strikes, right?
Yes.
Normally, this stuff gets handled pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's not being handled very quickly.
No.
I think streaming has really hurt the writers on this.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you. I am going to take about 3 years before your strike has an effect on me.
Exactly. Yes.
There's enough content out there. Like
I've had
I can find something else. Like,
I've had so many people tell me, "Hey, you need to watch this show." Oh yeah, yeah, like all 8 seasons. Okay, so that's a commitment, right? So just stay on strike, and I got stuff to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if the longer you stay on strike, the better I get caught up. Like,
right.
I hate to say that because, look, they should be able to strike to get what they deserve.
Yes.
Okay.
But we've talked about these sort of things before, Joe. This is an indication of the industry changing, right?
Yes.
I mean,
but at the same time, the way the industry changed and how much content's out there, your impact is going to take your impact from a strike is going to take longer for people to feel because there's so much out there.
Exactly. You're not going to have the viewing audience clamoring for new content as quickly as they would have in the past.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to have TV networks putting pressure on your employers.
Right.
So that like, hey, what the hell?
Exactly.
No one's watching TV. No one cares.
No. Who this might hurt the most is like, Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon and stuff like that.
Yeah, but no one cares.
Exactly.
It's already been proven. No one cares.
Right.
They tried that first. Like, hey, the writer strikes is affecting Jimmy Kimmel, Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
Like, and that fell flat.
Yes.
This went nowhere.
Yep.
And now they're like, hey, Stranger Things is going to be delayed. Okay, now you're making a little bit of an impact,
Yeah.
but it's just a little bit because I can just go watch, I haven't watched The Witcher yet, so I'll watch The Witcher.
Right.
It's a weird time for a writer, but not a weird time. Like, I guess the timing's good for them. They need to work whatever out, especially since the pandemic.
Yep.
Because I do sympathize with the writers for this. The pandemic happened. These companies made a lot of money on streaming and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the pandemic.
Yep.
And during that time, they were under old contracts, so they didn't benefit from those earnings.
Sure.
So I do feel for them. They should have benefited. I've always been a proponent of profit sharing with everything.
Oh, yeah.
If a company is making more profits, the workers should benefit from that.
Right.
Period.
Yep.
Always been a proponent of that. That's in my opinion, and I know this will probably trigger some people when I say this, but that's capitalism in its truest form.
Right. Yes.
If they're benefiting, those working for them should benefit.
Agreed.
That's the true form of that. Profit sharing is the best way.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a recognition of,
Hey, we got here because of you.
right. Yeah. Recognition of the true talent that it takes to put all of this stuff together, and when, this is what happens when you don't volunteer, that sort of reward, you're going to end up with things like this.
No, get paid for what you put forward, right?
Yep.
Like, if you're putting forward a superior product, you should get paid for that.
Absolutely.
Period.
Yep.
So, I feel for them on that front. As far as like, hey, you're not getting new content. Like, so?
Right. Exactly.
If it's just new content that is going to be your focus, sorry, you're not winning there. I've seen a lot of the new content. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's where it's going to be hard to appeal to the viewing public because they are going to have many options as of right now. So,
yeah. All right. So I have Freddie Prinze Jr. written down here for some reason.
oh, do you now? Oh, we were going to go out on, well, I guess none of this is a high note, but I guess
None of it's I know.
if we're going to crash and burn, let's do it. All right.
Let's do it. Let's go for it.
Freddie Prinze Jr. says he's done playing Kanan Jarrus in Star Wars.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought too. At first, it was like, okay, fine. You said stuff in the past that made me, not so happy to have you around. But, it gets better because he's asked about his cameo at the start of the first season of The Bad Batch. He said, yeah, I was asked to, yeah. I didn't necessarily want to. I feel like every time you hear Kanan's voice since Rebels ended, it really kind of dilutes his impact. Yeah.
So as a Star Wars fan.
Yeah. I think he's proven just how little of a Star Wars fan he is here.
I'm with you.
Yeah. In fact, like let's take it more mainstream into Star Wars, right? Into the Skywalker franchise. On his line in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, speaking to Rey through the Force, he reiterated, yeah, I didn't want to do that either. I was asked as a favor, and I feel like all their favors are used up now.
So let me say this. Like, it disappoints me to hear him say this
Yeah.
because of the impact of Kanan Jarrus
Yeah.
and what that character did.
Right.
On the other hand, I've heard him time and time again since that. I'm like, yeah, you can boot this dude. Hell, recast him. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Oh, I'm
Um,
sure you could get a someone to sound the same. Yeah. Heck
Yeah. Anyone from the 90s.
yeah.
And I think that's weird for him to say, like, oh, if you do this, that diminishes his character. Well, you played the same character over and over again, versus, from film to film to film in the 90s. So
Right.
I
Maybe
think it's
he's-
weird. You're
maybe
like, oh,
he's-
it diminishes that.
He's getting super successful right here, maybe he's too busy. He's focusing
Oh,
on
he's
She's
probably
All
too
That
busy.
too or something.
Yep. Too busy, super successful, can't
Yeah.
do it.
Exactly.
It's the way. This is the way.
Well, when they asked him about Ahsoka, the Ahsoka series coming out, he goes, "No Ahsoka. I'm done with Kanan. I'm too old for that stuff."
I'm sorry, dude.
Good.
But you have a prime opportunity here to voice your son.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just throwing that out there.
Yep.
You can voice Jason, your son.
Yep.
But nah, you're not the Star Wars fan I thought you were.
That's what this is boiling down to. He'll deny that all day long, I'm sure, but it's pretty clear that he's not quite the Star Wars guy he says he was.
Yeah. I mean, you're cool voicing 12-year-old you and sounding weird as shit,
Exactly.
but you have a problem voicing what would Jason be, 17, 18?
Something like that, I think, yeah.
So really you're going to let that go? When you might actually work?
Right.
Instead of sound weird and explain that away like, oh, Star Wars fans are stupid. That's where you lost me. When you started bashing Star Wars fans for like questioning, like, hey, what the hell, dude? Like, why you sound like Kanan right before he died
Right.
when he's like 12? It was just weird.
It was weird.
What's wrong with you people? I don't know. You sound like you're 30 when you're 12.
Well, maybe-
It's weird.
Maybe he just got mad because, he did somebody a favor and, he doesn't want to be questioned about it. So,
Oh, it's a favor.
yeah. That's what he said right there. Yeah. I was asked to. I didn't necessarily want to.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
For all the stuff he's doing now.
Yeah. She's all that too, I'm telling you. It's going to be a hit.
I mean, that was barely a hit. But
Oh, that's funny.
yeah. Hate to turn on the guy, but come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
If you think a character has an emotional moment and that's the end, you haven't been watching.
You haven't been paying attention to Star Wars, exactly. I mean,
We can revisit that all day.
we had Hayden Christensen playing his 2002 self,
Right?
It's like, dude, there's all kinds of opportunity for things like this to happen. It's like, I just don't get it.
No. Hayden Christensen did it right. He was like, oh, you want me to come back and play Vader?
Right. Yeah, totally.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
He did it right.
Yeah.
And hey, it was some of the best Vader we've seen.
Right?
I mean, say what you will about Obi-Wan, right? Like, it had its flaws,
It sure did.
but that was some of the best Darth Vader we've seen
Yes.
in Star Wars.
Yes.
Period. Because we had Hayden, we had James Earl Jones.
Yep.
We got the best of both worlds. And if you don't think Hayden killed it in a suit,
Oh,
you
yeah. No, that was
need to talk to someone.
that was good stuff.
I'm sorry. Those Obi-Wan sequences were absolutely unreal.
right.
They were, you know, when y'all lost it in Rogue One when Vader went like completely bananas.
Yeah. Yeah. Down the hallway. Yeah.
Yeah, you got that in abundance
Yes.
in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it was fabulous.
Yes, it was.
Darth Vader kind of stole the show
Yeah.
as far as the highlights of that series.
I was gonna
Darth
say,
Vader kind of
those-
stole the show.
Those were the high points. Yes.
So, Hayden, welcome back. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
way to come back. Like,
And
that's a dude who wasn't too successful and too busy. Like,
exactly. He knows what value there was to be in Star Wars, and can appreciate it. And
and not only that,
he's out on the convention circuit and stuff again, and it's like, it's frustrating to hear people talk like this. Sorry.
but not only that, but he had stuff to overcome, right? It's just like Ahmed Best.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
had stuff to overcome because of the way it went initially.
Right.
And yeah, Star Wars isn't perfect.
Exactly.
It's not perfect. A lot of people screwed up.
Man, okay, I'm going to sound bad, but whatever. Probably not as bad as you did in the early part of the show. But you look at the ups and downs that people like Hayden Christensen and Ahmed Best went through in order to be a part of Star Wars. And there were some, real high ups and real low downs. Talking like this, Freddie Prinze Jr. just sounds entitled to me. Like he's,
No, like a whiny bitch.
there you go.
Oh,
Perfect. Thank you.
I already got the tag, so
It works.
we got our explicit tag. Might as well roll with it.
That's right.
No, but you're right. Like, look, Ahmed Best, he got it the roughest
Yes.
of anyone
Totally.
in Star Wars. Just flat out.
Yep.
He realized that that's not everyone.
Right.
That is not the majority even.
No.
It's just some loud assholes online that really made it bad.
Yep.
And at that time, a minority could sound really, really bad. Because the minority that was super committed to like making it heard, we're going to go all out and, have internet access and
Yeah.
have access to these forums and,
Yeah.
so he got it bad, but it's not like today where you have a broader access. So nowadays it would have seemed a lot muted compared to what he got back then, because more people have access to that. And he would have had more encouragement, things like that.
Right. Yeah.
Not diminishing what he went through, but the times.
Oh, it played a factor. That's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely played a factor. And obviously that encouragement that he got after Star Wars Celebration, he said, no, maybe this is not something I need to abandon. And he embraced it, and he's back. He's a Jedi now. He's
Yeah.
a Jedi now.
Yeah. Keller and Beck.
Yep. So he he obviously realized that he was dealing with a smaller section of fandom than he realized.
Right.
But at that time, there's no way to know that.
Exactly.
You know,
Heck,
Yeah,
back in those times, I think it was around 99, Celebration 1 happened. So,
right.
you know, that wasn't even a thing that had been going on, really. So,
You know, Hayden kind of took a step back because of the way fandom reacted.
right?
And I say that with, you know, the quote fingers going.
Yeah.
And it took coming back, going to Celebration, all that stuff, realizing that fandom is not so small
Right.
that a few loud voices can keep you out. And he's back.
Yeah. And we'll be moving forward, it seems. So,
Yeah. I mean, dude, Obi-Wan was, when it came to Vader,
yeah.
this is something in Disney era Star Wars that they did pretty damn good.
I have to agree. I also think it has to do with the commitment
The
from
fact
the
that it's
actor.
Vader,
Well, you know, the commitment from the actor too, from Hayden. You know?
right? But I mean, you look at Rogue One. You look at every time they brought Vader in,
Oh yeah.
they
Yeah.
they realize what they're dealing with.
Yes.
It's Vader.
It's funny. It's funny because, you know, seems like they don't realize that with other characters, but okay.
No, you're absolutely right. But they did realize that with Vader.
Yes.
They've treated Vader better than they did the Emperor. Like,
Or Luke.
well,
Or Han.
there's that.
Yeah.
Or Leia, for that matter.
Yeah.
You know, as much as they tried to save it, they just couldn't.
Yeah.
But they got their priorities mixed up.
That's for sure.
They thought dedication to an actor was more important than the story. And that's just not true.
Right.
You know, look at how many people have played different, like Vader, for example. Look at how many people have been in the suit playing Vader.
Yeah.
Okay, like, but you're still going to treat that character with reverence and all that stuff.
Right.
Like, you didn't think like it was a good idea to maybe at least recast for a portion of it instead of passing a lightsaber back and forth through some weird scene? Like, you thought that was paying tribute to Leia? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fail.
And the clunky dialogue to fit in like the deleted footage and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You thought that was fitting?
Yeah.
No. Recast, put a nice message at the end, and fucking go about it.
Exactly.
Well, I think I've dropped enough F-bombs for the year.
Yeah.
If you have anything to add, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media, at The Wars and More on Twitter, facebook.com/thewarsandmore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts to add this week, Doug?
Yes. I hope we have something fun to talk about next week.
Oh, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk next week.